Now, today we will talk about an ellipse. Our objective from this lesson is how can we write the equation of an ellipse, how can we find the foci of an ellipse, and how can we graph an ellipse. We said that the difference between the ellipse and the circle, they have a common difference, or we have a difference, and it have also something that they are the same between them. Now, both of them is a set of points. Both of them are closed. Now, but in the circle here, okay, and both of them has a center. But in a circle, you have a fixed distance from the center to any point on a circle. If you draw it horizontally or vertically or to any angle, or it will be have a face at the same distance or a fixed distance, and we name it here with an arrow. But in the ellipse, these things will not happen, because as you see from here, if you draw a line from this center to the end point or to the any point on a circle and the ellipse, you will not have the same distance if you draw it vertically. This is the difference between the circle and an ellipse. A circle, it is an ellipse, it is a circle, like this one. This is a circle. But now, this is a circle. If you now take this one and stretch it horizontally or vertically, you make an ellipse. So an ellipse is a circle that is stretched horizontally or vertically, only in one direction. So now, an ellipse is a set of all points in a plane, such as the sum of the distance. Now let's imagine here, or let's say now that there's a point which is named with P. He told me now in the ellipse, the distance from point P to the focus F, or to a fixed focus F1 and F2 is constant. So what is the focus? What is the vertices? What is the co vertex? Let's see here. Now, if you have now this ellipse, let's start with it like this. Okay, this is an ellipse. Every ellipse, okay, it has two axes. One of them is here. It's cut the ellipse into two equal halves. We called it an axis, and there's another one also is perpendicular to the previous one. Also, it's cut the ellipse into two equal halves. Now, the greater one, we name it a major. The greater one, I mean this one, we will name it now. This one, we will name it now with a major axis. And the axis that is perpendicular on the major axis, we name it with a minor axis. The major and the we have two axes, sorry. We have two axes, major and minor. The major is perpendicular on the major, the minor is perpendicular on the major, or the major is perpendicular to the minor. Now, the greatest one, which is the major. It has an endpoint. As you know, any line segment, it has two endpoints. On the major axis, the endpoints of the major axis, we name it with a vertex. So on the major axis, it is a line. In this line, it has two endpoints. These two endpoints, we name it with a vertex. And on the minor axis, the endpoints on the minor axis, we will name it now with a co vertex. The vertex or the vertices, it is on the major axis. But the co-vertices, that is, it's are on the minor axis. And also, it has a center. This center, it could be on the origin or no, as we said in the parabola and on a circle. So here, it's centered in its point that has its points that connect between the two perpendicular axes. We name it with a center. Now, here now, there's a point. Here. These 2 points, we name it with focus. Focus 1 and focus sub 1 and focus sub 2. These 2 foci are only on the major axis. The foci or the focus cannot, the foci, as I told you yesterday, it's a plural of focus. These 2 points, the focus cannot be in the minor. It's only on the major axis. So the foci is only on the major axis. Now, because the foci is on the major axis and the major axis is an x-axis, I will say that, so the major here so now the major axis here is an x-axis. Since the major is an x-axis, so I will name this one is a horizontal ellipse. Now, so major, it has it's on the x-axis. The major, it has the 2 foci points, and we will name it now with a horizontal ellipse. Now, go back to the vertices here. In the vertices, since now, any vertex, we name it with A. So, a vertex, the vertex is A, and the co-vertex is B. The vertex, which is on the major axis, its name is A, and the co-vertex on the minor axis, its name is B. So, if we name it here, or it is here in the x-axis, so the coordinate here, it will be A0. Okay, here you have an ellipse. Here you have a point like this on the x-axis. So here its coordinate is A0. And here it will be negative A0. Why? Because you have to know something, that the distance, wait please, the distance from the center to the co-vertex, we name it with A. The distance from the center to the vertex, we name it with A. So because of that, the coordinates of the vertices, sorry, it will be A0 and negative A negative A0. So the vertex here is A0 and negative A0. These are the vertices of the major axis. Because the distance from the center to the vertex here is A, and also from this center to this vertex here is also A. So I can see, and I mean here is also A. So I can say now here the coordinate is negative A0, and here it is A0. And also the distance now from a center vertically is B. And also here down, vertically down, it's also B. So what is the coordinate of the co-vertex? It will be
0 B
or 0 B.
0 negative B. 0 negative B.
And 0 negative B. So the vertex here in the horizontal ellipse, it has two coordinates, A0 and negative A0, and the co-vertex 0B or 0 negative B. Now, I want now to write the equation of a horizontal ellipse. Now, I told you that the difference also between the ellipse and the circle is, girls, please give me 1 minute. Sorry. So now, what is the equation of a horizontal ellipse? I told you that if you have 3x squared plus 3y squared equal 1 as an example, you divide it by 3. So you will have now x squared plus y squared equal 1 over 3. If you have now x squared with coefficients 1 and y squared with coefficients 1, and here you have a number, this will be an equation of a circle. Or it has an equal coefficients, it will be a circle. So if you have now an x squared plus y squared, don't forget the plus, and the coefficients are equal, I'm talking about circle. But if the coefficients now are not equal, such as 3x squared plus 4x squared equal 9. If the coefficients, they are added, don't forget the added. If it's subtracted, I'm talking about another shape. If it is added and the coefficients are not equal, I'm talking about ellipse. In the circle, the coefficients are equal. In the ellipse, the coefficients are not equal. This is a difference of the equations from a circle and the ellipse. Now, how the equation of a horizontal will be?
You wrote 4x squared.
Yes.
4y squared.
Also, okay. I think that you understand me. Now, I'm talking about horizontal. So I told you, you have x squared plus y squared. Why x squared and y squared? Sorry, why they are added? I told you, both of them, all of these four shapes are a curve. Okay, all of them are a curve. If I'm talking about one curve, so I'm talking about parabola. That's why I told you it has only one, x squared or y squared. If I'm talking about circle or ellipse, they are curve, both of them. Let's make it clear here. Both of them are what? Are curves. One to the right and one to the left. And they are joining each other. That's why I told you we have two curves, x and y, and they are added because these two curves are joining each other. Later on, you'll have hyperbola. In the hyperbola, there are two curves, but they are not on the same side, one to the right and one to the left. Later on, we will say that they are subtracted. Why they are subtracted? Because they are not joining each other. One go to the left and one go to the right, or one up and one down. In the opposite side, I have to put negative sign. In the same, they are joining each other. I will say they are added. This is the first thing about an ellipse. Now, the second thing here. If the A or the vertex is on the x-axis, okay, if A, which is a vertex, or the major axis is on the x-axis and A is greater than B, is it right? Here is A and here is B. Is A here is greater than B? Since A is greater than B, so A is the major and B is the minor. The greater one, if it is horizontal, it is on x-axis. So it will be under A, under X, sorry. If A is A here as a vertex, and since A is on the x-axis, so A will be under X, and B, it will be under Y. Here, A is on the x-axis, so it will be under X, and B is on, wait, Rose, I'm talking. And because B now is on the y-axis, it will be under B. And then equal 1. Why is equal 1? Because it has a later on I will tell you that it has like a squared plus or ax squared plus y squared equal something. Later you will divide by a and y. You will make another time one. Later on I'm talking about it. But here it is. How can I know the horizontal from the vertical from this equation? If A is A, which is greater, A is always greater than B. If A is under than X, so I'm talking about horizontal ellipse. Now, let's see now. The vertical ellipse. Look at the vertical ellipse here. The vertical ellipse, the major, oh, I will draw it here. Okay. This is now a vertical. In the vertical ellipse, as I told you, the greater one is a major, and the smallest one is the minor. So this is a minor and this is a major. The endpoints of the major, we called it vertex. And the endpoints of the minor, we called it Co Vertex. Now, and as I told you also that an A is a distance from the center to the vertex. This is a distance A. So the coordinate here, it will be 0A, and down it will be 0, negative A. And the distance here is B. So I will say now the coordinate here is B0 and negative B0. Now, what the equation will be? Both of them, it has X and Y. If now the vertex of the major axis is on the y-axis, so A is on it. So A, it will be under y, and B, it will be under x. A, it will be under y, and B, it will be under x. Why? From here, every time if you see an equation, search about the value of A. If A under y, I'm talking about vertical ellipse. So the major axis will be in the y-axis. If A is under than x, so I'm talking about here horizontal ellipse. Now, and also as we said, in the major ellipse only we have the foci. The focus, it will be only on the major axis. Here we have focus 1 and here we have focus 2. The second thing I want you to know that the distance from a center to the focus is C. The center from the distance from the center to a vertex is A, and to the co-vertex is B, and to the focus is C. Because of that, here its coordinate is C0, and here it will be negative C0. And if it is on the vertical ellipse, here we have an focus 1, and here we have a focus 2. For the focus 1, as I told you, the distance here is C, and here also the distance is C. Here now, the coordinate, it will be 0C, and here it will be 0, negative C. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Okay, Rose, now what's your question?
No, teacher, nothing. Go.
Okay, give me 1 minute. Look at this. Here, the properties of an ellipse with a center 0, 0. Don't forget here, I'm talking about the center is at an origin. Look how the horizontal ellipse, what is the X equation, and what is the vertical or the equation of the vertical ellipses. How the vertices, how the co-vertex, and how the foci. I will give you 1 minute. Look at them. Now, let's start with problem 1. In the problem 1 here, he asked me to write an equation of a standard form of an ellipse centered at the origin. Okay, with a vertex -6, 0 and co-vertex 0, 3. Now, what do you have to do? The first thing here, let's draw now the points. Let's have it here. Let's draw the x and y. 17. Now, the first one it is 0. Come on. It is -6, 0. -6, 0. So it is here. And since the distance to the center here is -6, so the center here, the distance is 6. So here it will be also 6. So another vertex, it will be 6, 0. Look at the second one now. The co-vertex is 0, 3. And since the distance here is 3, so now the distance here it will be 3, 2. So now the another co-vertex is 0, 3. Now, after that, let's now connect between them. So, which type of ellipse I have now? Is it a horizontal or vertical?
Horizontal.
Horizontal.
Now, this is a way to know if it is horizontal or vertical. Another way, look at here. The vertex is -6, 0. Since now the vertex, it has a 0 every time. I told you vertex with A and the co-vertex with B. A with vertex, co-vertex with B. Now, since now an A is on an X, if each coordinate it has an XY. Since now an A is on X, so it's horizontal. And a B is on Y, so it is the co-vertex will be on the y-axis, so the graph here is horizontal. You can know it by graphing or from the given information. Is it clear?
Yes.
So now?
Yeah.
Okay, so by now I can know if I'm talking about horizontal or vertical. But now he asking me what is the equation. I will say now the horizontal, I told you, since it is horizontal, so the value of A, it will be under X. And the value of B, it will be under Y. So X squared over 6 squared plus Y squared over 3 squared, or you can say X squared over 36 plus Y squared over 9 equal 1. Sorry, under 9, it is under Y. So this is a vertical, this is a horizontal equation. of this ellipse. So he asked me now here to write the an equation. Let's do this one here. In this one here, what is an equation in standard form of an ellipse centered at the origin? So he gave me it's an ellipse. It is an origin with a vertex 0, 5 and co-vertex 2, 0. Now look at the vertex here.
It's vertical.
The vertex here, it is 0, 5. Okay? I told you the vertex is A. Where is the value here? Is it on the value? Let's mean the number. It is on the X or in Y coordinate?
The Y.
Is the
Y
coordinate.
Here is A. It is in the Y. Since it is on the Y, so the major axis is on the Y axis. So it will be a vertical ellipse. You can know it from the given information or from graphing the ellipse. From the graphing, I told you how. Now here, this is for a, this is, so the vertex, is it on the, I'm talking about A, and since A is on the Y coordinate, so the vertical, so the major axis on the Y axis, so it will be a vertical ellipse. And the co-vertex here, it is 2, 0. And at a co-vertex, now it is B. And since the B now in the x-axis, so it will be here and here. Now, so what is the number here of A? It is 5. And the number here, it is 2. So from here, I will say that A is 5 and B is 2. So from here, I know that A is 5 and B is 2. And it is vertical. So A, it will be under Y or X? Yes, Maya?
Yes.
Yes, Maya. Here, the value, the A, it will be under Y or under X?
Y.
Under Y, thank you. Because I'm talking about vertical ellipse. So Y squared over 5 squared plus X squared over 2 squared is equal 1. This will be a standard form of the equation.
No.
Here. Wait, yes, Rose.
Can you explain again what you mean about one?
Sorry?
Can you explain again what you mean about one?
Explain what?
Like here, one is fixed and you don't change it. The one, we don't change the one.
Sorry?
The one, we don't change it. That has in every equation we write equal 1.
You must what?
We must write just 1. We don't change the 1.
No, it is 1. Look at here. Where's the equations here? Oh, look at here. Here you have both of them, it's 1. Later on, I told you from where we bring this one. But by now, you have to know that if X, if X here, if A here is the greater one, it will be under X. And if the the grade under X, and it will be horizontal. And if A, I'm talking about vertical, so A, it will be under Y. Tomorrow I will tell you from the equation how can we find C and from where we have this one. Oh, not tomorrow, sorry, at the 6th period.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now the period has less than 1 minute. I will not start the next lesson. I will tell you how can I find C, and we will continue. Do you have any question now?